One of the most famous Dutch sides, multiple European champions and Dutch champions Ajax, are in the relegation zone this season after a terrible start to the campaign, which sees them slowly but surely making it out of the bottom part of the Eredivisie table, which is not the case in the Europa League, where they will not pass the group stages as they are in last place in Group B. What happened to Ajax, and why did it come to this? For many years, Ajax served as a benchmark for those seeking guidance on effective football club management. However, the current scenario paints a contrasting picture, showcasing what actions should be avoided. In the realm of Greek mythology, Ajax the Great stood out as an unparalleled warrior, renowned for his invincible strength that rendered his adversaries powerless. Despite his formidable nature, he met an untimely demise, opting to end his own life when the famed armor of Achilles was bestowed upon Odysseus instead of him during the concluding stages of the Trojan War. Similarly, the modern football club bearing his name is not succumbing to external foes, but rather facing internal challenges leading to its own setbacks. Blessed with a solid reputation, a thriving youth academy, and financial strength, Ajax enjoyed a period of Dutch football dominance from 2018 to 2022, securing 6 trophies including 3 consecutive league titles, excluding the incomplete 2019-20 season due to the pandemic. The managerial expertise of Erik ten Hag and astute decisions from Director of Football Mark Overmars in the transfer market contributed to the club's success. However, the narrative took an unexpected turn on a cold February night. Overmars, found guilty of sending inappropriate messages and photos to female staff members, was rightfully relieved of his duties. Unfortunately, the aftermath saw a series of misguided decisions that transformed dominance into disaster. And rather than promptly finding a replacement, CEO Edwin van der Sar assigned technical manager Gerry Hamstra the responsibilities and enlisted former player Klaas-Jan Huntelaar for assistance. Despite Huntelaar's lack of experience beyond his playing career, the trio faced a crucial task early on, finding a successor for the departing Ten Hag, who accepted the managerial role at Manchester United. Opting for an uninspired choice, they hired Alfred Schreuder, Ten Hag's former assistant, fresh from winning the Pro League with Club Brugge. Despite success in Belgium, Schreuder's previous struggles at FC Twente and Hoffenheim left many unconvinced. Skepticism proved justified, as Schreuder was sacked in January after a winless streak and a humiliating defeat to Napoli. The departures of key players Lisandro Martinez and Antony, contrary to the manager's expectations, further undermined the team. The replacement of Martinez's technical brilliance with Calvin Bassey's physicality and the board's intervention to block a £20 million move for Lucas Ocampos, allowing only a loan, raised concerns. The 2022-23 season ended with Ajax failing to defend their title and missing out on Champions League qualification. Both Van der Sar and Hamstra resigned. Before departing, Van der Sar appointed Sven Mislintat as the new director of football in the hope of a much-needed replacement for Overmars. Unfortunately, this move proved to be another misstep in an unfortunate sequence of events. However, it was definitely not the last one. Promptly sacking interim manager Johnny Heitinga as a permanent option, Sven Mislintat, the newly appointed director of football for Ajax, initiated a search for a replacement. And despite widespread expectations of bringing back Peter Bosz, who led the club to the Europa League final in 2017 and expressed openness to a return, Mislintat surprised everyone by selecting the relatively unknown Maurice Stijn. Stijn had recently guided Sparta Rotterdam to a commendable 6th-place finish, but his limited experience and absence from a club of Ajax's magnitude raised eyebrows. Turning his focus to the transfer market, Mislintat's decisions further stirred controversy. Selling Jurjen Timber to Arsenal and subsequently replacing him led to the termination of club legend Dusan Tadic's contract. Tadic felt the club lacked ambition, and by the end of the summer, key players like Mohamed Kudus, Edson Alvarez, Davy Klaassen, and Bassey departed. In an unusual departure from Ajax's reliance on their youth academy, Mislintat spent over €100 million on 11 players untested in the Netherlands and largely unproven at the highest level. The team, composed of Mislintat's chosen manager and players, endured one of the club's worst ever starts to a season, securing just 5 points from the initial 4 matches. Compounding their struggles, PSV, led by the previously overlooked Peter Bosz, held the top spot in the league with a flawless record. Off-field issues added to the chaos as Mislintat faced an internal investigation for acquiring Borna Sosa, a player represented by an agent whose management company held shares in a data analysis firm founded by the German. And this raised concerns about potential personal gains from the transfer. In the midst of this turmoil, Ajax sought a positive on-field result for a much-needed respite. Unfortunately, their next challenge was a match against arch-rivals Feyenoord, intensifying the pressure on the embattled club. The turmoil at the club escalated even before the kickoff of De Klassiker, as press reports indicated that Sven Mislintat had visited the training ground the day prior, informing players that the manager would be sacked if they lost. Additionally, he asserted his intention to personally ensure that underperforming individuals, particularly those not favoured by him, would be dropped from the starting 11. His dissatisfaction stemmed from some struggling players being chosen over those he had signed. Feyenoord, eager to compound the misery for their rivals, swiftly secured a 2-0 lead within the first 20 minutes in Amsterdam, which prompted an Ajax fan to throw a cup onto the pitch. As the scoreline extended to 3-0 within the next 20 minutes, disgruntled supporters escalated their protest by hurling flares, leading to the suspension of the match in accordance with the KNVB, the Dutch FA, regulations introduced in response to a rise in such incidents nationwide the previous season. The situation worsened as 10 minutes into the second half, more flares were thrown, resulting in the match being abandoned entirely. However, certain sections of the Ajax fanbase, rather than dispersing, chose to vandalize their own stadium. Some attempted to breach areas off limits to them. The escalating chaos prompted a swift and substantial police response involving tear gas and horses to clear the area. The scale of these riots was unprecedented, marking a level of unrest never witnessed before. Throughout the day, fans voiced their demand for the dismissal of both Mislintat and manager Maurice Stijn. One of these wishes was granted that evening, as Mislintat parted ways with the club less than a year after joining. However, the resolution of this crisis will undoubtedly require more extensive measures. In the tapestry of Greek myths, heroes often find divine assistance when they need it most, and Ajax the Great is no exception. Facing the challenge of transporting Achilles' body from the battlefield during the Trojan War, Ajax receives aid from Athena, the goddess of war. Similarly, AFC Ajax currently finds itself in need of a savior, but the identity of this modern-day benefactor remains uncertain. In 2010, Johan Cruyff played a pivotal role in rescuing his former team during a challenging period, and his guidance, known as the Velvet Revolution, saw the installation of former players including Overmars, Van der Sar, Frank de Boer as manager, and Dennis Bergkamp as a youth coach in key roles. The focus shifted towards developing young talent and playing attractive football, resulting in 4 consecutive league titles. With Cruyff's passing, many are hopeful that Louis van Gaal will return to orchestrate a similar transformation. However, despite being offered a key role at the club, Van Gaal has ruled out day-to-day involvement due to ongoing treatment for prostate cancer. The man who led Ajax to their last Champions League victory in 1995 might consider a less hands-on role, serving as an unofficial advisor rather than taking on managerial or directorial responsibilities. The uncertainty lies in whether his love for the club outweighs the potential stress of such a role during a challenging period in his health. Amid all the turmoil, there are glimmers of optimism. Even some of Ajax's rivals would concede that their squad has the necessary quality to win the Dutch title for the 4th time in 6 years. The club's wage bill is significantly higher than Feyenoord's, for example. Once the club's culture is reset, the football team should be able to take care of itself. Now, Ajax has won 3 games and drawn 1 in Eredivisie in November, propelling them to the number 8 spot on the table. This signifies a bright period ahead, and maybe, just maybe, we see Ajax in the fight for the title again this season because, as we mentioned, the quality is there. All that is needed is the consistency, and Ajax can definitely be a pillar of that. What is undeniable is that Ajax is currently facing one of its darkest periods, and the responsibility for their predicament rests squarely on their own shoulders. The future? Some fanatical fans are hoping that Overmars, who is now very successful at the Belgian doubles in Antwerp, will return. Many others think that is a bridge too far. The club is hopelessly divided, which can almost entirely be traced to that moment Overmars dropped his pants and took out his phone. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Ajax? Will they be back where they belong? Or will this be a mediocre season? Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.